Hello again, everybody, and welcome to today's episode of Meet the Presenters. I'm Andy Arbuthnot, and today I am joined by someone we should all be familiar with because he's been there from the very start. It's Stephen McGill, who is a marketing expert, web designer, hypnotherapist, and a co-organizer of the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference. Hello, Stephen.
Hello, sir. How are we?
We are well. We are well. So,
Good.
for those of us who don't know, right, I'm just organizing my paper like as if I'm on a news desk.
Yeah.
For for those of us who don't know, tell us a little bit about yourself. Obviously, I've known you a long time, and a lot of the regulars who have come to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference know who you are. For those who don't, and for those who are potentially going to attend, tell us a little bit about yourself and a bit of background, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, certainly. I've told this story many times. I do sometimes on my talks as well. But my background is in 2007. I started a photography studio and slash web design studio. Got a lot of clients, got a lot of web design stuff. It was just actually around the same time as the recession hit in 2007. So
Okay.
I was getting a lot of website work with it. But people were coming back then maybe a couple months later, not because they were unhappy with the website, but because no one was visiting the website. So website's great, but no one's coming. What do I do? So then I started looking into the concept of marketing and getting eyes on pages, on traffic and stuff. So started researching that, taught myself that, and then it sort of dawned on me that if we know what pushes people's buttons and what the driver is to get people to take action on things, um, the better likelihood is that you'll be attracted to buying your offer or service or product or whatever it is. So looked into hypnotherapy, studied hypnotherapy, qualified in hypnotherapy in 2015, roughly. Studied it for years before that, but actually just did the exam then in 2015. Been doing it ever since. So moved away slightly from web design, still do it. But marketing is the main thing, specifically for hypnotherapists at the minute.
Yeah.
So created several companies. Globalize was a web design company. Marketing Advice NI was for marketing companies in Northern Ireland. And then we, a couple of years ago, can't even remember when, like 5 or 6 years ago, I started Theramarketing, marketing for therapists,
Mhm.
um, and been on the journey ever since.
Yes, and obviously I'm familiar with your work because you and I work together,
We do.
and you do a lot of good stuff for me. And basically, a lot of what hypnotherapists complain about is not having enough clients.
Mhm.
I would say, from my own personal experience, you have helped me attract quite a lot of people. Can you give people a little bit of insight into the likes of things that you do? Now, obviously, you can talk about stuff that you've done with me, like the lead gen stuff that we're doing at the minute. You can talk
Sure.
about that, but, give people a little bit of insight as to what it is you do day to day with people like me.
I think the main thing is with hypnotherapists, it's very rare that people are very, very good at hypnotherapy and business and marketing at the same time. So you're either good at one or the other with it. And that's not obviously across the board. Some people are a healthy mix of both. But a lot of therapists that I've encountered or worked with see their gift as something that it maybe tarnishes if they advertise themselves,
Yeah.
if that makes sense, or
No,
they don't know how to.
yeah, I know a few people like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's quite common of, I've been given this gift and I should pass it on to people. Yeah, but that doesn't work in Tesco's and Aldi and Lidl. You can't, get your groceries from reciprocity
No.
sort of thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish we could. But I think the main motivator is the lack of knowledge as well, but also how quickly the industry is moving in terms of marketing and how quick things are changing. Um, and a lot of therapists, through lack of knowledge, post with the viewpoint of what's in it for them,
Yeah.
of what they can, like a 10% discount is meaningless because that means you're getting 90. The customer can see through all those little tactics. So it's not putting across the benefits and what problems you solve. That's the main thing that normally at the end of my talks that people walk away with in terms of I'm going to stop talking about myself and who I am and what qualifications I have. I'm going to start talking about what your problems I can solve.
Yeah. So obviously we've known each other for many years now,
Mhm.
and for people attending the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference, why should people come and see What is your presentation about? Now, obviously, there's themes, and realistically, whenever it comes to your presentation next year, give us an idea of what you're going to be talking about.
The main crux, the title is Beyond Algorithms. So beyond what you're told, it's more strategic marketing for
Mhm.
hypnotherapists. Beyond just the story of what we're told about the algorithms are. The algorithm changes all the time. It is getting increasingly more powerful, um, increasingly more to be trusted. Therefore, it's really important whatever you put out, anything that you put out will be amplified by the algorithms now. That's the way it works. It's not the traditional way it used to work anymore. So anything that you're putting out will be amplified by the algorithms. So that can be a very, very good positive thing, or it could be a very, very negative thing. It can expose how bad your message is, or it can expose how good your services are. So
Okay.
it's basically going through in this day and age, in this world that we live in, the use of artificial intelligence, how can we adapt that and address some of the challenges that we're facing now in 2026,
Yeah.
basically by the time the talk comes around.
Yeah. No, cool. So, obviously, the key message you want people to take away from your presentation would be what?
To go beyond the idea that I hear a lot of in the hypnotherapy communities at the minute is I'll never use AI. I want it to be authentic, blah, blah, blah. But using AI to speak on your behalf is maybe 5 to 10% of what AI capability actually is. So to think of it as your free 24/7 personal assistant as well. It can not, I don't always focus on the fact that it can just produce content for you, just produce images and videos and written word. There's automations, there's tasks, there's different things in the background that it can help you with as your own private PA to allow you to free up more time to help more people in your clinic.
Yeah. No, and
So it's to
that's
take
a
away, sorry, it's just to take away that stigma of, I hate AI, I'm not going to use AI. AI is going to enhance you, not replace you.
yeah. And it's something that we can't escape from. It's
No,
something that's there and that's it.
like you can't put a genie back in the bottle. It's the same
No.
thing as, I remember a time when people didn't, actually, a really quick story. When I lived in America and came back, I went into our local shopping center up to the phone shop. Got no phone, could just come back from America. I think it was around 97, 98, maybe
Okay.
99. But I remember going in and the guy said, "What phone do you want?" And I said, "I want that flip up one with the camera." And he said, "You don't want that one." And I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Well, but nobody's using photographs these days and phones. It's just, who are you going to send it to? Where are you going to take? That's never going to take off. The
Yeah.
phones and the,
Yeah.
the camera, sorry, on the phone."
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a case of you can't go backwards. AI is not going to go back into the box. So it's not going to replace people, but it's going to replace people who don't use AI
Yes. Yes. That's
and
that's a
not just
very
to
key
create
message.
content.
No, that's a very key message. Yeah. No. I'm looking forward to hearing what you say always. But then you and I talk about this all the time, so it's great. Now, one of the things I like to ask people who are presenting is a very simple question. What would you
Mhm.
say to now obviously we're biased, right? But what would you say
Yes.
to someone who was thinking about attending the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference? What would you say to them that would encourage them to come along? What's the main benefit for them?
I think probably there's a few reasons, but one of the main ones is being a hypnotherapist. Once you've qualified, it can be a lonely place.
Hmm.
It can be you're working yourself, you're trying to get clients, you're trying to see the clients, you're trying to solve the clients, you're following up with them, you're doing all your admin, your marketing stuff. But in that atmosphere, you're surrounded by your peers and people who know how it feels, and you make new connections
Yeah.
with everybody there that you've never spoken to before, people in different parts of the world that you would never get the opportunity to speak to with before.
Hmm.
And you get like-minded people who are suffering the same challenges as yourself in terms of being a lonely entrepreneur.
Hmm. Yeah. Definitely, it's one of the things I've picked up from the last few years is that you get to meet people all over the world that you would never have met before, and it's a
Yes,
welcoming environment. So I'm looking forward to seeing you again in April. But for now, Stephen, thank you so much for your time,
very
and I
welcome.
will let you crack on with your busy day. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon.
I'll speak to you soon. Thanks very much. Look
Thanks
forward
for
to
your
seeing
time.
you.
Thanks for your time.
See you later.
Bye.